Friday Night Lights is sponsored by Astound, Members Choice Credit Union, and Hillsboro Ford.
Welcome into week 11 of Friday Night Lights, the last week of the regular season.
Our teams in Central Texas were playing for the district titles, playoff seeding, and trying to head into the playoffs on a high note.
And not to mention, Madison, tons of grit out on the field too. Teams leaving it all out on the field one last time.
In this week's Game of the Week matchup, there was a ton on the line between these district rivals.
Friday Night Lights Game of the Week is sponsored by Astound, Members Choice Credit Union, and Hillsboro Ford.
You mentioned the two bitter rivals. They're going head-to-head. Whitney taking on the Trojans. Remember, if the Wildcats win, they clinch the district title outright, something they haven't done in a while. If the Trojans win, that means it's a three-way tie. So let's get right into it. After a huge return to start this game off, this guy does it all. It's Kobe Haynes, the Wildcats. In great field position, he rolls out of the pocket and gets this one down the field as the Wildcats will go up 7-0. Then after a crazy blocked punt that was returned for the Wildcats, we would see another touchdown right here as they're striking early back-to-back. It's 14-0 Wildcats now. The Trojans, however, they didn't flinch. It's the second quarter and quarterback Dub Crane with a little bit of misdirection, but he looks one way and is going to hand it off to running back Marian Perez. Takes this one all the way to the house untouched. 14-7 now. Wildcats still on top. The momentum, though, didn't stop there for the Trojans. After a bad punt from the Wildcats, the Trojans were able to take advantage of great field position. They're going to go ahead and break some ankles as they break their way into the end zone for a 14-all ball game. Could they keep it up? Whitney trying to find their composure here late. It's Haynes who would take this one into the end zone by himself. 30 yards out, extends the lead 21-14. But the Wildcats would go on to run away with this one before long. 41-28 the final. Whitney, your outright district champs. Here's Adrian with those champions.
City Madison, we're ending it, how we started off the season in West, and the road team picking up a big win, the Whitney Wildcats. I'm joined here by head coach David Haynes. Coach, going into the playoffs now, what is the message to your guys? You just told me, I heard you. You said you're proud of them, a long season, undefeated in district play. Talk about what the next steps are for your team.
I mean, we're celebrating tonight, and then we're back to work on Monday. We got bigger and better goals to reach. I mean, this is what we talked about, milestones before the game. This is one milestone. We're trying to go get 5 or 6 more.
And then, obviously, you guys had a tough battle. They battled back 14-0. You guys were up early. What was the message when they battled back and it was tied 14-14? Obviously, you guys were able to put some points up at the end of the second half. What was the message to your guys?
What did I keep saying, guys? Stay the what? Stay the course. Stay the course. Stay the course. There's not a 28-point play. There's not a 15-point play, whatever. Like, it's a touchdown at a time. It's a stop at a time. And that's what our kids did.
Coach, we have one more special question from our Sydney Wicker. She told me to ask you how you guys are going to be celebrating. Are you going to Chick-fil-A?
Probably yes.
You're going to be going to Chick-fil-A? All right. Well, that's all we got for our final Game of the Week champions. It's going to go to the Whitney Wildcats. Let's go! Let's go! Hey! Yeah. All right, City Madison, it's been great. This is our last Friday Night Lights Game of the Week. Back to you guys.
Way to go out on a high note, Adrian. So much fun out there. I'm surprised that he hasn't been asked to join one of these teams. Maybe if he had a little more eligibility left, he'd jump right back in. Thank you so much for that, Adrian, and congrats to the Wildcats for clinching their first outright district title since 2019. Madison, still lots more action to get to. Let's take it away.
Crawford leads 7-3, a minute and a half into this one. Rosebud Lot quarterback Price Radbroker nearly connects to Daniel Rincon in the end zone. The Cougars try to push the end zone, but they're stopped. They try again, hitting a wall of Pirates, unable to take the lead. Crawford comes up with big stops and takes the ball back with a minute to go in the first half. Crawford draws a pass interference penalty. A flurry on defense penalties helps Crawford get into the end zone. Crawford's Cade Carroll dives into the end zone with 6 seconds left in the quarter. Crawford converts on the 2-point conversion on their second attempt. After Rosebud Lot commits another defensive penalty, the Pirates and Cougars enter the contest, playing for the district title, both 8-1 on the season and perfection in district play. Crawford outlasted Rosebud Lot in this one, 21-18, to claim the district title.
Alrighty, congrats to the Pirates. Connolly taking on Gatesville tonight. Over the last 2 seasons, this game was determined in the final seconds. The Cadets going to start things off on offense for us first. It's quarterback Caden Kaufman looking deep, and he's got the Baylor commit, Jamarian Vincent, with coverage on him, but that doesn't faze him because he gets the catch, and it's 6 points on the board for Connolly. 6-0 would be the score here early. Hornets trying to look deep, but it's Vincent, again, who reads that one like a book. He's doing it on both sides of the ball. He gets a pick six. It's 12-0 now. The P18 no good. Cadets going to attempt the onside kick because they're rolling and vibing with what they're doing on all sides of the ball. So they're going to go for it here. Second attempt, by the way, and it's all money. That's right, they get it. So we get more Cadets on offense. And do you want to just take a guess, Madison, on who's going to get the magic going? I don't know. You might have heard his name already a time or two. Kaufman to Vincent for his third touchdown of the night. The Cadets in full control. They get their first district win of the season and send those seniors off the best way possible. A shutout win, 40-0.
Robinson up 26-0 at the half, and the Rockets are looking to keep that momentum going against the China Spring Cougars, but China Spring's running back, Krishan Gregory, comes up with a crazy run. I don't know how many Rockets try to tackle him, but he is unstoppable. Gregory finally reaches the end zone, putting the Cougars on the board at 26-7. He finally gets there. I mean, what a crazy long run. The Cougars try again, but the Rockets come up with a huge stop. This is when things start to get a little complicated here. The huge stop that I'm talking about is right here. But the final here at Cougar Stadium is going to be 33-7. Robinson gets their 8th win of the season.
All right, way to go, Rockets, flying to victory there. Still lots of good games to get to, including highlights from La Vega versus Lorena. Could the Pirates sail to back-to-back district titles? We'll tell you on the other side of the break.
But first, we're going to take a quick break. Before we go, here is a look at a bunch of scores across Central Texas.
Welcome back into week 11 of Friday Night Lights.
More district champions to crown tonight, so let's keep it rolling. La Vega versus Lorena at Willie Williams Stadium. The Pirates looking to outright clinch the district title for the second consecutive year. Lorena would need a win to make the playoffs. Quarterback Courtney Parr looking to make things happen. He's looking for options, and he finds Jabari Thornton for the first touchdown of the night. 7-0 Pirates here at Willie Williams Stadium. Lorena then gets the ball, but they struggle offensively. The Pirates back with it, and this time it's Parr handing it off to running back Tristan Tyler. 14-0 La Vega. Their offense comes out firing on all cylinders, ready to clinch the district title. And just when you thought Jabari Thornton was done, he gets another touchdown. All Pirates in this one, 49-7.
All right, University taking on Ellison tonight, trying to get their first outright district title for the first time since 1956. First play on offense for Trojans quarterback Savoy Nichols takes off and loses it. It's Ellison ball. They would go on to score. Next kickoff return, the Trojans, and it's disaster again. The Eagles would recover 3 fumbles in the first quarter alone and take advantage on all of them. No play more spectacular than this one, though. It's a dime from quarterback Marlon Smith to star wide receiver Prince Hall for the Eagles touchdown. Ellison flying their way to victory and kind of upsetting the Trojans there. The final score is 60-23.
Bremont trying to stay perfect on the season and outright clinch the district title. Frost is playing to potentially tie for 4th place in district standings with Mart. Bremont's Xavier Clark receives the opening kickoff and sprints to the right side. Running back Tang Scott cuts through the middle for 6 points on the first play of the game. The extra point is good. Bremont takes an early lead. Frost tries to get the offense going, but goes 3 and out. Bremont moves down the field. Scott gets the first down. A couple plays later, Scott runs it in to put Bremont on top by 2 possessions. It's all Bremont in this one as the defense intercepts Frost quarterback, leading to another Bremont touchdown. Final 47-14 Bremont.
Over at Panther Field, Abbott hosting Aquila. Aquila undefeated on the season. Cougars' Brody Woodard going to get things started for us as he pitches it to TC Henning, who finds Andrew Snipes for the first score of the game. What a snipe himself, getting his way into the end zone right there. Abbott's Leighton Galvan finds Lane Hegel for a nice gain, but the Cougars get the ball back, and once again, it would be Woodard to TC. They would just keep connecting in this one. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They would do it all night long. The final score, 54-6. Aquila stays perfect.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will recap our Thursday Night Lights and announce our top 3 nominees for Player of the Week.
But before we go, let's take a look at those Week 11 scores from across Central Texas.
Welcome back in. Before we get to this week's Player of the Week nominees, let's take a look at some of our Thursday Night Lights action.
We'll start things off at Leo Buckley Stadium as Harker Heights was hosting Temple. The Knights trying to outright clinch the district title for their 4th consecutive year, and the Wildcats trying to help punch their ticket to the playoffs. A few plays later, it's Humble who's looking deep. He lets this one fly to Christian Nobles. And of course, it's going to show off for his favorite TV station as he does. Knights go up 7-0 before long. It's a few plays later, and we see Champ Mayo. He's getting handed off to Eric Shelley, who gets the work done on the ground. He'll rush his way into the end zone for a touchdown, and just like that, this one's tied up at 7 all early. The second quarter, though, Knights knocking on the door, but the Wildcats would go ahead and say not so fast as Braylon Carr returns this one 104 yards all the way the other way. It would be close at the half, but Harker Heights gets the job done 24-14.
The last week before playoffs kicks off this matchup, Midway versus Copper's Cove. Running back Lathan Wissington passes it to tight end Hayden Brock to get the Panthers on board late in the first quarter, 7-0 Midway. Now it's the Bulldogs' turn. Quarterback Craig Davis III hands it off to running back KJ Ziegler, who says, "I got all green grass ahead." He jukes a few Panthers on this play. With his eyes all on the prize, he finally reaches the end zone and he dives in to break the plane. All tied up here at Bulldog Stadium late in the first quarter, but a seesaw battle to start off the first half. The second half was all Midway Panthers. The final score here, 56-26 Midway at Bulldog Stadium. 3 touchdowns today for Lathan Wissington. I mean, how important is he for the playoffs?
Oh, he's real important, and Madison, Lathan would be the first to sit here and say this. Our offensive line and guys just do a phenomenal job, and Lathan does a phenomenal job. I mean, he is a really, really, really good football player. Thank goodness he's on our team. I hope our other running back, Jaden Fields Vaughn, is good, and because we're going to need that 1-2 punch to make a run at this.
Take on the Chaparral Broncos on offense here. Quarterback Isaiah James looking deep, and he leaves it down double coverage, and that one is picked off by the Bobcats. Amir Bolton Smith with the interception and a huge return for Chaparral. Broncos back on offense. James looking to bounce back after the pick. He finds a hole up the middle and takes off all the way for the Bronco touchdown. Lake Belton wins this one 53-20.
All right, time for the best part of the night. We saw all the big plays, but now it's time to pick some of the best players who help get their teams some wins. Let's roll on to this week's Player of the Week nominees.
Friday Night Lights Player of the Week is sponsored by Astound, Members Choice Credit Union, and Hillsboro Ford.
The Eagles had quite a night, and it all started with Ellison's QB, Marlon Smith. 4 touchdowns early on for him. Are you kidding me? He's Player of the Week nominee. Number 1, let's go to number 2. Connolly's Jamarion Vincent. 3 early touchdowns for him, and that was on both sides of the ball, mind you. Yeah, he was doing it all. The Baylor commit looking really good. Bremon's Tank Scott, senior, junior captain. 2 early touchdowns here for him. Yeah, he was doing it all. They would keep grinding and stay perfect on the season. Don't forget, you can vote right now on the KCEN X account, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at KCEN Sports, and let us know who you want to win. We close that poll on Sunday, but we'll announce the winner for you on Wednesday. Madison, this has been so fun. We kick off the playoffs next week. That's when the real fun begins, and I can't wait.
It only gets better.
It only gets better. We'll see you next week for all the action, plus so much more. Enjoy those district titles, and congrats again to Whitney for being champs of our game of the week and district champs as well. We'll see you next week.